Hello, welcome to my channel, Diane in Stitches. I'm Diane and this channel's all about sewing, so if that's something you enjoy, I hope you enjoy listening to today's video. So this week I've got 2 or 3 things to mention. Obviously I've got the new Euphoria cover stitch there. It'll be an unboxing later on. I did finish my Donny shirt number 3 with the long sleeves. And unfortunately I haven't started much else. I've got a bit of a brain freeze going on about the next project, so I'll go into all that throughout the video. So today I'm wearing, this is the Ellie & Mac Going Home sweater. I've made a few of, or 3, I think I've got 3 of these. Two of the shorter ones with the band on. This is a tunic length, which I did a reverse cover stitch on the hem. I altered it. It had a cowl neck and I had to take it off because it was too thick. But this is a nice, easy, comfortable raglan sleeve. Okay, so the Donny shirt, as I say, I've managed to finish it this a few days ago. I did have to nip out and get some buttons just for the cuffs because I didn't have any. I've got a tin full of buttons and there wasn't any that were suitable. But in actual fact, when I've got them home, they looked more purple than blue, but there is purple in the fabric anyway, so it's not that noticeable. So I'll pop some pictures and videos up. So I enjoyed sewing this. In fact, I do like the Donny shirt in general, and I'm quite happy with the long sleeved. I think I will shorten it a little bit next time. It is a little titch too long, but it's not horribly long. It's not too bad. So that's that one done. So I'll just got it here. If you recall this, I didn't do any pattern matching, which if I'd have thought about it, I should have cut the 2 fronts so that this was more central. But it's very difficult to pattern match because the strange thing is, when I looked and thought, oh, they're going that way, so that's the direction of the fabric. But in actual fact, there's another one here going that way. So on alternate rows, there seems to be one going up and one going down. So I'd got no clue. So I just put them all the same way. See, that one's going that way. And that they are the same. I've checked it and it's exactly the same, but that flower faces that way and that one faces that way. Anyway, the sleeves were quite simple. The cuff it's not a tower placket, it's just a bound placket, I would say they call it, I think. So you just put the binding on and then it's one continuous binding from here to here, and then you just have to put it's a bit clumsy, that one. You just put that angled seam in the end there, and so that's, as you can see, the button really looks purple there. As I said, there are bits of purple in the fabric anyway. So yes, I quite like it. I did lengthen this again. This being the 3rd one, and I lengthened the 2nd one. I didn't have enough fabric to lengthen the 1st one with the silk noir one that I made. The 2nd one I did lengthen on the usual length and shorten line of the pattern, and as I was looking at this, I thought I'm going to lengthen it a bit more, but rather than just cutting the pattern, I actually measured. I mean, it is a curved hem, but I did measure as the pattern piece was on the fabric. I just made a little marks. I did another inch and sort of lengthened it. So I will lengthen the pattern piece now. I know that this is a nice length. So in all, it's 2 inches longer than the original pattern. But as I say, I just sort of I didn't eyeball it. I measured all around the back and the front, and just then joined the dots and then cut it out with my rotary cutter. I think the sleeve, as I said, the sleeves could do with being probably maybe half an inch shorter, but they're not too bad. So I quite like that. It's lovely fabric. I'm sure it's I can't remember, but I'm sure it's a viscose. So as I said, this was from the silk store in Birmingham last year. And I've managed to get this point a bit better than the other two. So I'm getting there with the experience of the Donny Shirt. So I quite like that one. So yes, that's the Donny all done and dusted. So my next plan was to be, initially it was a Jarrah sweater. And then I transferred my thoughts to the Pattern Emporium Sweet Cheeks sweater. But when I laid out the pattern pieces for the cuffing, the ribbing, there isn't enough ribbing. I've got less of the. This is the fabric which was from Beyond the Pink Door. This Ponte di Roma, and it's shrunk. So I ordered 1.20 m. Beyond the Pink Door, I think it's 10 centimetre increments you can buy it in. And the Jarrah, which I'd originally purchased it for, said 1.1. So I'd ordered 1.2. But obviously when it's washed, it has shrunk. So I've just barely got a metre. And I ordered 0.5 metre of the ribbing. But when I've laid out the cuff and neckband bits for the ribbing bits, there wasn't enough, unless I did the bottom in the self fabric and then just did the collar at the neckband and the cuffs in the ribbing. But it was still quite tight getting it onto the fabric, the main pieces. So I've gone through all my patterns again. I'd re-looked at this one to do ribbing in the ribbing and tried to. There's no way I can get a long sleeve out of a metre. So I went back to the Jarrah and I've decided to do the. Just bear with me. I've got the printed pattern as well as the PDF. So I've decided to do this one with the tie front. So the front piece is just one pattern piece. Obviously, it's just got to be all in one to get these. And then there's sort of long ties. There's a bit of a performance sewing the ties and doing a mitre end on it, but I'll get there. And I was laid the fabric out and I still wasn't sure that I was going to get the Jarrah sweater out of it. I originally wanted to do the normal one, that might be better, the buée with just the cuffs and the bottom band and the neck band. And there's not enough ribbing for those bands either. It's too... So I went with View C, which was the tie front one. And I was struggling to find out. The front piece goes on as one piece. You just cut that in one piece with the face of the fabric up. And I was struggling to decipher how I could, with the other piece, the back, which is on the fold, and the sleeves, whether I tried to trying to see whether they would fit. They would all fit, and I was still undecided on that one. So I dragged the paper, I pinned the front to the fabric and dragged it over, so I could lay the rest of the fabric flat. It's a big table this, but it wasn't quite big enough to lay out the fabric fully. And I was still unsure. So what I've actually done is I've actually made the back piece. I've retraced another back, and I've taped them together as one single piece, and I've laid that on the fabric. And I think everything fits. I've shortened the sleeve, but that doesn't. It did fit in the gap between the front and the back. Cutting two sleeve pieces out to make sure I remember to cut two sleeves, because that's something I've done before. Just cut one sleeve. But I mean, I can't fold the fabric over. There isn't enough. Once I've cut the front and the back out, I won't be able to fold the fabric to do it mirrored. So I'll just cut two. They're symmetrical, the sleeves anyway. There isn't a front and a back. They're just completely symmetrical. So, and I'll say, I've shortened them by 1 inch because these sleeves are just ridiculous. I mean, that's the cuffed one which I'm doing. I'll put a picture up of the other jarrah that I've made in it. It was a really horrible rib knit, and I was going to do I was doing view D, so the funnel neck with this long split sleeve, and I lengthened this pattern piece. The side length of view D is 9. It's just over 9.5 inches. Well, my side waist is 9 inches, so it would have been really up the side, right on my waist. So I lengthened it 4 inches. But then I decided that I didn't like these long sleeves, so I just chopped them off. I just chopped at the split, where the split starts. I just chopped it off and added cuffs. And then at the bottom, I just added the waistband on. And the neck just flops. You'll see on the picture, it's just horrible. So I have shortened this sleeve. Looking now, I don't even know whether 1 inch is going to be long. I'll see how it goes. I think I'll just chop it off the bottom if all else fails. It's slightly curved, but I'm sure I'll manage. So that's the next. Hopefully, get this started with the. So I quite liked that tie front. It's just something. It will sort of elevate this. I don't want just an ordinary sweatshirt with this nice fabric. So I think that will just look a little bit more classy, probably. Yeah. So that's the plan on that one. So hoping that sleeve is going to be okay. But again, that was for view C at 150. It is 150 centimetre wide fabric. It's 1.2 meters. So as I say, it's shrunk to 1 meter. I have lost 20 centimeters in the wash. Never thought about it. But the ribbing, it says 0.4, and I've got 0.5 meter. So I have tested it, so that should come out. So hopefully that will be a quick make. It'll all be done on the overlocker. I've got my thread, got my coloured overlocker, appropriate colour ready, and so I think that'll it should come together fairly quickly, I hope. So the only other thing to mention this week, of course, is the new Coverstitch, which I'm very, very pleased with. I did, as I say, I've done an unboxing, which I'll put on in a little while. And I did thread it up and did a few tests with it. I mean, it's just an overlocker, so I just use this fabric. And it's just straight out the box. It's done a lovely. I've just done 2 rows there, so so quite pleased with that. So I hope I can I'll probably use it on the jarrah covering, just do perhaps a chain stitch around the neckband. So as I say, I'll show that unboxing in a little while. I was a bit dubious about what to do with the Janome. The lady in the shop where I bought the overlocker and the Coverstitch said, "Oh, you'll sell it." And I thought, well, I'm not too sure. It's a little bit more of a niche item that probably not many people would be interested in. I don't know. So I put it on Facebook Marketplace on Wednesday. Or was it Tuesday or Wednesday? And I got an inquiry on Wednesday. This lady was interested and was going to come Thursday or Friday. We arranged, but then she texted me and said to come Thursday. So I got it all set up. I'd threaded it up, and she had a practice on it. I showed her 1 or 2 bits and bobs. She bargained me down, I think £20. That was all right. And so it's gone in a day, 2 days. I was quite thrilled about that. So that money's, most of it anyway, has gone in the bank. So I've kept a little bit back for personal use. So that's all gone and done. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting that at all. I expected it to linger there for ages. So now all I've got to do is get the brother. I'll probably take it to this shop, let them send it off for a look and see what's wrong, why it's clogging up. Or it's just weird. I've not tried it again actually since. I must have a go again and just see exactly what's happening, so I can explain, get that serviced or repaired or whatever it is, and then I'll try and sell that. So yeah, I was quite pleased about that. I'll just stick the little unboxing video in now. I can't remember how long it is, a few little clips, and I'll pop back in a little while. Okay, so here we are. We have the Babylock Euphoria cover stitch. Now I have just opened the lid because I did get the instruction book out, and I've just had a glance through that whilst I was having my lunch. So hopefully I can get this out of the box. Now what I was quite surprised at when I looked into this cover stitch was that it comes with a knee lift, which is very good. Looking forward to trying that. I've never had one before. That's the foot pedal. A little bag of tricks. So the spool holders, spool cushions for different threads, screwdriver, thread nets, all the bits and bobs. Don't know what that thing is. I'll look at that. Soft cover. That's all the bits and bobs out. Large piece of polystyrene. Right. Let's see how heavy this is. Excuse the rustling. Right. Okay. Oops. Oh my goodness. Let me get this on the table. Oh. Ooh. That's a beast. All right. Let's bring you up a bit. Just get the box out of the way. Oh gosh, that was heavy. Thought the overlocker was heavy, but my goodness. And the plastic sticking to the non-slip feet didn't help. Oh. I shall get some I've got my overlocker and sewing machine on one of these table protectors, so I'll have to find something so that it slides, because I think I don't want to be lifting that up and down like I do with my Janome, because that has killed my back. So I'm going to have to try and figure a way to leave it on the table and just sort of slide like I've done here. Just slide them to one side and slide that for whatever, because there's no way that I'm lifting that to and fro from the side here. I'm just going to get the Janome out and just compare the sizes. Right, okay, so this is the Janome, so you can see how it compares. I think I've just measured it. This is like 2 inches bigger, in all dimensions. I've actually taken the Janome off. It's one of these non-slip. Well, they're slippy at the bottom. It's a non-scratch. It's a table protector. So I can now swivel it, move it around, because this isn't as heavy. So you can see how much more bulk it has than the Janome. Oh gosh, so yeah, I'm say I do not really want to be lifting that. So that's going to stay on that, and I'm going to have to push it back. Anyway, right, so it's got a little bit of usual bits of threading that's coming out at this sample here. The presser foot lift is at the side, so obviously what I'm happy about as well is this one chains off, unlike the Janome. So that's the sample that's with it. That looks okay. It's just got the three needles in. Take this tape off. So I shall try and have a go at threading. So it's got the air threader for the looper. This is a needle hole, magnetic needle holder. So when if you want to change from the 3 needle to 2 or 1, you can put your spare needles here until you want to put them back in. And it's got, just get this Janome out of the way, and it's got however it works, there we are, a little compartment that just pulls out from under there, which has got some more little tools in and spare needles, screwdriver, etc. So get those out. It goes all the way up there. So I shall get myself orientated and get to grips with this, the beast, as it's going to be called, I think, because that is one heavy creature. My goodness. So yes, this is the Janome. This is my issue with this, with the getting the pulling the work out once you've pulled it forward and cut the threads, and it's supposed to pull out easily. And the thing I was told was it was these 3 levers had to be in a line. So if that is like that, I can't pull the work out. So I have to open the door and make sure that they're all in a line, and then it pulls out fairly easily. It's still not brilliant, but so yeah, I shall be trying to sell that. I'm not quite sure how easy that's going to be, but we shall see. Anyway, I shall be concentrating on this bad boy and see how I get on with that. So there we are. That's the Euphoria. As you've seen, it's a heavy beast. So it's staying on there. I used to lift my Janome from here onto there and push the other bits, other machines out to the back. Excuse me. But I really do not want to be lifting that anywhere. I'd thought maybe it can, when I've got rid of the brother overlocker, I could just sort of pop it down briefly and then just, so I'm only moving it there to there, but I think it's all right as it is. I've used the sewing machine and the overlocker with that sat there, and there's a little bit, they're a little bit close together, but I can push the sewing machine to use the overlocker, and then in fact I could actually move the overlocker, just unplug it and bring that round, because that's not as bad to lift. Anyway, I'm sorting it, it's fine. I'm happy with it. So I think, yeah, so that's I think that's all we've got to talk about this week. The heating's coming out. It's autumn. The heating's coming on now, although it hasn't been on for a couple of days because it's warmed up a little bit. But I am actually a little bit warm in this long-sleeved t-shirt now, so I might have to go and put a short sleeve t-shirt on. But yeah, so I hope that was enjoyable, and I'll just mention I've had a little flurry of subscribers again. I'm getting up now to, I'm not trying to do anything specific with this channel, getting it monetized or anything, but I'm just curious about getting to the level of subscribers, and I've got 450 or 460, sorry, now. I think it is. And the next sort of milestone is 500. So I've not got many to go. So if you are watching and not subscribed, it would be lovely if you could consider doing so. It doesn't cost you anything. And also hit that notification bell and you'll get notice of when I've released a new video. It just does help the channel to reach other people interested in this content. And if you've liked this video, do just give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and love reading your comments, get some lovely comments, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.